Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Welcome, everyone. Yeah, please find some place, some way that you are comfortable. If you're in the sun, you need to move or something, please do that. Let yourself fully relax here. You are here now. Know that. Let yourself relax and breathe naturally, normally. Don't strain. No need to achieve anything. You are already here as being consciousness. This is your nature. This is the nature of all. Recognizing this, I am that which is aware. Being consciousness is here now. Recognizing this even as a concept in the mind. Is the beginning of your sadhana. Accepting it fully. You begin to walk away in which you will realize it completely. When you do, you will laugh, knowing this has always been here. And it was only the belief that you were separate, that you were an individual, that you were a person, that kept you from seeing that this awareness, consciousness, which you are, was always here. You have been that all along. Some of you have heard this before. And your journey has been to remain as that. You thought, I know this, but I keep forgetting. So you keep coming to satsang, reading books, watching videos. All of this is good. Just to remind yourself to fully accept that which is aware is here now, as this body, mind, and world. And you are that. For some of you, this will be a relatively short journey. For most of you, this will be a step-by-step opening of the heart into the recognition that this love, compassion, and joy, which you are, is always here. Even when you think it isn't, or your mind is telling you, you have lost it. Because, as I said, this is not about you as an individual, as a personality, as something that needs to survive your sadhana. At the end of sadhana, no one survives. At the end of sadhana, there is only this recognition: I am the self. This is what I have always been. This is the end of fear, the end of doubt, the recognition that everything here, taste, touch, thought, smell, emotion, world, all of this is only that one self. If your sadhana is gradual, as it is for most people, you will take one step at a time, or two. You'll become impatient, sometimes frustrated. Wonder if you will ever recognize the truth of your own nature. These doubts will come. Just take the next step. Put them down. Remember, I am the self. Remembering, I am the self, or one of the other aphorisms of spiritual life. All is God. I am that. I am the self. I am aware. By itself will not bring you to awakening. This is a self-remembrance that ultimately you are already awake. So you are simply reminding yourself that this is your destiny, if you have not already realized it. If you are sitting here today, or watching here today, this is the truth of your nature. You are the self. Only the self is. You have already come quite far to be able to hear this. Now, your task is to relax and rest in the full faith that your nature, as the heart of being, is coming toward you and is calling you home. Put everything else down. As many times as it arises, anything arises. Put it down and remember, I am the self. When any other thought arises in the mind, you can ask yourself, who is thinking this thought? Tasting this taste, hearing this sound, feeling this sensation, having this experience. When you do this regularly, you will start to hear a small voice that says, I am thinking. I am tasting. I am touching. I am feeling. This is the entry point for the inquiry. Who am I? You see, if you are aware of the thinking, aware of the hearing, aware of the tasting, touching, smelling, experiencing, and you cannot be those things. You are the watcher. You are the one who, without form, can say, I am thinking, I am tasting, I am touching. But who is this I? Initially, asking this question, who or what is aware here? Who am I? The mind may struggle to try to answer this question. But the mind only knows you as a body, as senses, as thoughts, as emotions. So there's no answer for this question in the mind. The answer can only come when this search through body, mind, world, experiences, emotions is put down. When you aren't willing anymore to search in the way which you have been searching your whole life, then the question can naturally arise in you. What else? Is there something before I? This is the beginning of inquiry. The question, who or what am I, who or what is aware here, is only the form that we use to point toward the recognition there is only the self. Don't get lost in the forms. Use them. While at the same time recognizing that your nature is silence, even when the forms go on dancing, even when the sensations continue, the thoughts continue, the experiences continue, your nature is formless silence. Before the dance, yet allowing the dance. Simply not identifying with it. To know that you are silence alone. Does not mean you sit alone in a cave or on the side of the road for all of eternity. It simply means you are free. You are sitting in a cave. You are sitting on the side of the road for all eternity, knowing I am the self. I am free, unbound, and the whole dream of being bound, of being an individual, of living in fear, of suffering, cannot be supported anymore. Now you can be anywhere, throughout all time and space, as being consciousness, knowing full well, I am that. This being consciousness is here, eternally. You are that. Look before all of your experiences. Sri Ramana said, return to the source. This is your task. The source is not going to be found in your mind, your thoughts, your experiences in the world. The source can only be found when you look in the direction of the source, into the heart of being, and let everything else go on as it always has. You are free. Let your freedom breathe you. remain as this open awareness. Simply knowing I am here. I am aware is enough. This is turning toward the source. In this awareness, there is vast space, vast love, vast self-compassion, and vast compassion for the world. Seeing freedom within the heart of being, it is clear the world is free. I can let go and be here fully as aware presence. This is your gift to the world. This knowledge, that which is aware, is here now. Is your blessing and your darshan for the world. Even you do nothing. Better you do nothing. But if you become confused, just remember, I am the self, and turn toward home. It is not somewhere else. It is within you, as you, in this moment, and in every moment. Continue coming home. All right, now we have a few minutes, some period of time. For you to raise your doubts. Any questions that you might have, so we can erase these doubts. Somewhere there's a microphone, I don't know where. So if you'd like to speak with me, please let me know. We'll pass the microphone to you. This is a time for you to ask whatever questions you might have that may be blocking you from the recognition that you are free. Welcome.
I think when we sit like this, the recognition comes clearer and clearer. But when I go on my own, these days, there's a lot of fear that comes in the body, and it's almost like it blocks everything and it tightens everything. So I don't know if it's doubt or it's just experiencing this, and I don't really know what to do with it.
Yeah. Understand. This is a common experience. So that's the first thing to know about it. This is a common experience, especially when people are intensely involved in sadhana, or intensely involved in an experience like coming to Tiruvannamala and sitting in satsang. It can feel as though there's a jarring or a very unsettling and fearful response that can come to stepping outside of the space of your own silence. But the question I have for you is, are there two of you? This one who is here in the silence of satsang, and this one who is in fear.
No, in the silence of satsang, it's not even one, but there's one that comes after.
So you are still having the experience that there are two of you. No?
It feels more like there's none and one pops
None
up.
and one pops up. Okay, you can say it this way. There's none and one pops up. Having realized that there is none, who is it that says, now there is one? Who is that one?
Is the non that sees it being there.
It's what?
It's the non-one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that can just recognize that this one just pops or just comes.
Very good. So if there's simply recognition that this one has popped up, what is that recognition? Where is it coming from?
Itself.
Yes. So is this you?
It's the one you say it's me, and it's the one you come to.
Yes, you say it's me, right. But is that who you are? Or is this just an experience that happens spontaneously?
No.
Okay, so the solution is don't accept that as me. This is just an experience which is coming. This is the nature of what is referred to as samskara. It just comes spontaneously. Conditioning just comes spontaneously. The secret, the key, turn back toward none. You see, the reason that you are having some difficulty with it is when it comes up, it doesn't just come up as a thought, it comes up as a, this is me. Right? When you are none, do you have the thought, this none is me? Treat this the same way. When this experience comes up, and I understand that what you're saying is that when this comes for you, it comes as a sense of fear. And this can be very difficult, can be very challenging. Accepting that, we're not denying that that's the case. But the medicine for that illness is still the same. To recognize that this fear is here, but I am not that. Then the question once again can arise, then who am I? I am the none. I would say I am the self, but you can say I am the none. That's fine. As you do this repeatedly, you'll lose this fear. Will it happen quickly? We don't know. Do I do it 10 times? 100 times? 1,000 times? Turning away from this fear, not through denial, but through saying, this is fear. I am not that. I am the self. And then coming back to the heart of being, back to the noneness, which you may not be able to do initially out on the street, right? When you're feeling that fear, you may not be able to come back to the noneness. You may not feel safe enough, right? In the body, if the body is out on the street, you may not feel safe enough to come completely back into this sense of the self, but eventually you will. Because with this noneness, now, there is some sense perhaps of leaving all your defenses behind. Correct? So you can come into a safe space like this, or you can be in your room or your home where you feel safe, and you can completely let go. So that's just not the strength of your experience in the world yet, but it will come. Mostly, it's to the practice at that time that the fear is rising and is present. It's just to let go. Notice this is fear. Be okay with the fact that you are out on the street and you aren't completely comfortable coming back to the self or coming back to noneness. There's not enough safety in that environment for the mind in that situation. So just receive that, accept that, continue on your way without reactivity. The fear is here, but I am not that. I am the self. Just keep walking. Keep drinking your chai, whatever you're doing. And then you will notice that at some moment, space will open up again. Safety will come back. The sense of presence will come back. The recognition, I am the self alone, will come back. And when this becomes the field of recognition for you, you will be that self in whatever space you're in. You are the none. Yeah, you are not the fear. That which you are feeling here now, this is true. And this can become just like a swatting match, really. As soon as you walk out, as soon as you start to feel these feelings, you are just going, not this, not this, not this, not this. I am not this, I am not this. I remember I am the self, even if it's just conceptual. Remember I said, if it's conceptual, it's okay. It's just the beginning. If you can accept this concept, then it can begin, it's a seed. It begins to grow and it eventually flowers. What feels fear, and so on that you're describing, is conditioning. But the mind is a wonderful thing in a certain way. It doesn't exist, but that part of it that seems to exist is very open to being trained in the recognition of the self or the recognition of noneness. It's just as happier, actually, over time, to be trained in that as it is to be trained in, oh, I'm afraid, I'm out on the street, I have to be aware, I can't relax. And this is all just conditioning. So this means this is the habitual training of the mind since you are very young, or since you are in several lives past. This is just the habitual training of the mind. So you can understand that the mind has that capacity. Right? Use it. I am not this. I am that. I am not this. I am the self. I am not this. I am the heart. I am not this. I am love. I am compassion. Whatever works for you. But begin that process. Be compassionate toward the mind that steps outside and immediately goes into fear. Be very compassionate toward that mind. It's not something you need to struggle with. It's not something you need to deny. You simply need to say, not that. Eventually, it gets the message. And it actually can happen quite quickly.
Thank you.
This way of inquiry is really not about giving you techniques in order to make it possible for you to work with whatever you think is here. It's really about reminding you to fall through what you think is here, to see what is really here. Beneath the misidentification, the illusion that this me is someone separate, someone who has a problem, someone who needs to be fixed, someone who even needs to realize something. The fact that you are sitting here now indicates that your heart already knows who you are. If you don't feel that, this is what the mind is doing. Telling you that there is a problem, that you need to do something, that you need to change something, that you need to become someone else, that you need to have a new life in some way. All of that is the illusory quality of the mind. The more you accept that, and the more you're willing to just stand in presence in the midst of whatever is here, whether it's fear, self-doubt, whatever it is for you, physical pain, the more you are willing to be here, standing in this recognition, I am the self, the more quickly you will shed all of this mistaken identity. And of course the mind in this process is going to say, if you shed all this mistaken identity, you are going to die, you are shedding me. It's only this mistaken identity which is going to die, and it will die. So this is a reasonable fear coming from the mind. It simply isn't the truth. So again, not this, not this. You are the self. The self is all that there is. It is what is here now. It is what has always been here. It is what remains eternally. No matter how many bodies and minds come and go, no matter how many bodies or minds you have had, you have always been the self. You are just now ready to hear it. So it has all been worthwhile. Does this make you happy? I hope so. Hari Om Tat Sat. Namaste.